Choosing the right time of year when you're coming to Japan can mean the difference between being caught up in a typhoon to having your dream trip. I'm Amy and this is my sidekick Roy.
What did he say?
Whoa. Sidekick? Husband. What? Sidekick.
This is my husband Roy, and over the past 5 years of living in Japan, we have done just about everything from jumping in ravines to going snowshoe hiking to doing climbing up walls and camper vanning around Japan.
So I like to think we know a little bit about the best times to come to Japan to enjoy the great outdoors and countryside travel. A couple videos ago, we made a tier list ranking our top 10 day hikes in Japan. Check that one out if you're interested. It's a good video. And it kind of popped off, so let's do it all again. We've each given every month of the year a tier rating, and we haven't told each other what we've given it. So we'll kind of discuss it. We'll give you guys some information about what you can do during that time, and hopefully we don't start a riot.
Hopefully our tier rankings match up a little bit more than last time.
So let's start at December because it's just the start of winter, and then we'll be finishing around November, which coincidentally is Amy's favorite time of the year.
Let's get into it. Being the start of winter, December is characterized by getting quite a bit colder. At the start of the month, you may be able to see autumn foliage still in places like Kyoto. We did a cycling video in Kyoto and we were able to see actually some amazing leaves there.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
But then getting into the end of December is when you're going to be able to see snow in the mountain areas. Now in terms of outdoor activities, hiking is finished for the season in places like the Alps. You'll only be able to do that in lower mountains. And then snow sports are beginning in December, but the snow resorts don't open until the middle of the month. And then towards the end of the month is actually Japanese New Year's, when everyone travels and is really busy. So also wouldn't recommend going and doing snow sports at that time. Beyond that, I guess there's just some illuminations as well in December, but what do we give it for our rating?
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, C. Oh, let's go.
The first one we got. Wow.
We're improving. I mean, what do we need to say? I mean, the illuminations is kind of more of an inner city thing. Amy said that, you know, the snow sports aren't at its peak yet, so maybe hold off just a couple months and then it's going to get better.
It's a weird in-between month.
It really is.
Oh, also one quick thing I forgot to mention is if you're camper vanning, it's going to be quite cold. So ideally you'd want a heater in your van.
Yep, the KFC's dinners don't actually bring it up to B tier, sorry. Moving on to January, the snow is really starting to pick up, so now I think it's the best time to go hit those snow resorts. While you're at it, you can actually go and have that magical onsen experience where you sit in an outdoor bath and the snow is coming down. Oh my god, it's magical. This itself just like increases the tier rating amazingly. If you're coming and traveling in the countryside areas, you're going to need snow tires for the vehicle that you're in. If you're a van lifer, I definitely recommend to have a diesel heater as part of your setup. It's honestly just miserably cold if you don't have one. We've been there. We did a whole video series about traveling in the peak of winter, so please check that out. But let's move on to the rating for January. 3, 2, 1. I didn't look.
What?
Quick, look at your rating.
B.
B, okay. God, that was so anticlimactic. It's better than December, especially if you're into snow sports and also like, again, staying in the Japanese inn, the onsen, beautiful. But I don't know, not everyone's into the cold and winter, so that's why it gets a B. Moving into February, there is a lot more snow. This is when things are really getting powdery. The snow sports are really at their best at this time. And there are actually so many snow festivals in February, particularly in the northern part of Japan, in the Tohoku region. There's a lot of cool ones with kamakura, or these little igloos that they make. You can have like nabe inside, a hot pot. There's the Sapporo Snow Festival up in Hokkaido. It's a really magical time to come. Again, it's really cold. Not much else to say about that.
Yeah, I only just thought about it now, but those festivals make such a good family thing to do, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Like family outdoor activities. And there's also snowshoeing in winter, maybe less a family activity, I'm not sure. We did one with Quinlan, who has the channel Go North Japan.
Great channel.
He does tours, so really go and check out that video. It's a great thing to do in winter time. And lastly, for February, there are actually early blooming cherry blossoms that start around the Tokyo area down south of Tokyo in Izu. They're not as white as the main variety, they're a lot pinker and they last for a lot longer. So it's kind of nice in a way, you can see both winter and spring in the one month.
Magical.
All right, rating?
Yep, let's do it.
3, 2, 1,
B. Okay. I guess the defining feature about February and January is that you can see those cherry blossoms, which is nice. Personally, not a huge fan of cherry blossoms. They're just a little bit overrated.
I'm like, but actually I feel a little bit similar.
I know,
but
they're just a little bit overrated, and I wouldn't be planning a whole trip around them, in my personal opinion.
we'll get to that a little bit later, I think. But for this one, I would say February is slightly better than January because of all those festivals and because usually the snow is at its peak by this time.
Yeah, you're right.
So A?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay!
And moving on to March. March is kind of one of those weird months. It's like in between seasons again. You don't know if it's spring, you don't know if it's winter. It really depends where you are and what you're doing. We did a video hiking to the highest point in Tokyo, and that video kind of showcases how it's this weird mixture of like seasons in this one video, this one hike. The snow quality is really starting to like dampen quite a bit. For the enthusiasts there, it's kind of like, ooh, maybe you should be planning your trip a little bit earlier. You can still see some cherry blossoms, which is kind of nice, but you really have to pick your places, and it's also dependent on what the year is doing.
Well, the main places like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto are blooming usually on average at the end of March. But again, we're talking more about countryside travel, getting out of the city, so those higher elevation areas won't have cherry blossoms yet.
Speaking of all this lovely floral stuff, hay fever warning. For people who suffer hay fever in your own home countries, if you come here, you're gonna get hit hard. Personally, I would give this like such a low ranking tier rating out of personal experience from Amy. She's like barely a human in March. She's not even alive.
March, April, May, honestly, I'm just like, subhuman in terms of my allergies. Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird thing because I didn't have hay fever before coming to Japan. I got it here. I don't know, it's just be a little careful, I guess.
Let's move on to the rating. Okay, 3, 2, 1, B. You forgot.
B, yes, what was B?
Okay.
Sorry, I was like searching my brain.
Oh, what are you doing in this video?
Okay, it's a weird in-between season, or month, as we said, but it's not as like weird as December because you do have the cherry blossoms starting to bloom, and I know that is why a lot of people want to travel to Japan. I think the reason why I don't put these months with cherry blossoms higher is because cherry blossoms are so fleeting and really hard to predict. So it's difficult to plan your holiday around them unless you're coming for like a month or two. Yeah, a 2-week holiday is very difficult to plan to see them. Moving into April, things are starting to warm up and cherry blossoms are blooming in the countryside areas. Places like Nagano, Niigata. I always mention those places because that's near where we live, but
Best places.
all of those places, cherry blossoms are blooming. Oh, Mount Fuji as well. It's a great time to start getting out in the camper van again if you want to hire one. The temperatures are mild, and if you go out to the countryside areas, it's actually going to be a lot less crowded when you're seeing those cherry blossoms as well compared to the cities. Water activities are just starting to kick off with rafting and canyoning from all that snow melt. Hiking is a little bit weird still. You can do the lower mountains, but you definitely can't do up in the Alps unless you're really good and experienced at winter hiking. And yeah, generally it's just a great month to really still hop in an onsen. We did a onsen video, Besho Onsen. I would recommend going and checking that one out because that's kind of the quintessential April time.
And it was such a great Japanese experience, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. All right, tier ranking.
3, 2, 1, A. Oh my boy, 5 for 5, let's go.
That's really, oh my God, what the hell?
This is awesome.
But not giving different perspectives. maybe it's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Look, any season where camper van is a go is A tier from me. End of story. And of course, because of the warmer weather, you can actually get out and like really start to enjoy some slightly more strenuous activities outside without feeling like the insane heat which is soon to come in these summer months. March and April are gone. The season of hiking through dead sticks and dead nature is gone. May. Green. We're alive!
Oh my god! Very dramatic.
May is my favorite time of the year.
Whoa.
Hands down.
Okay.
It's my birthday month. So
Oh, okay.
it's honestly just the best. The days are warm.
But not too warm.
Not too warm. The days are warm, but not too warm. You can do all those strenuous activities, the water sports, the hiking, the bouldering, the climbing, everything. Cycling can start now. Camper van, of course, is an absolute must. Like you could be chaining this together with the previous month. You've had a nice long rental camper van session. Fantastic.
But just be careful. The starting week of May is Golden Week.
Yeah, of course.
This is a holiday period in Japan, one of the busiest, and that will be very difficult to book in things. Also, it's going to be expensive. Also, some places, like really popular tourist places with Japanese people, will be busy.
But hopefully, if you are out in the countryside, you should be able to avoid a lot of this, not all of it. Like you still need to pick your places wisely, and you should be able to avoid all of the holiday traffic.
Just one more thing about May. I really enjoy it as well, more than April, because while April has cherry blossoms, which people come for, as Roy said, the rest of the foliage is dead. There's no leaves yet still. So May is great for that. And you can also, if you go out to the Alps area, see these beautiful snow-capped mountains still with all the green and some other flowers. The scenery is just magical. Just be careful, hiking in the Alps still hasn't started yet in May. All right, so tier rank, I think we're gonna, let's do it, but 3, 2, 1,
S tier, hands down.
There you go.
Hands down, S tier. There's nothing more to say. Let's move on.
As we move into June, things are getting a bit hotter. We've got summer just around the corner there, but it also is the start of rainy season in Japan. So rainy season, depending on the year, can go from around the start of June to mid-July. It's going to make travel and outdoor travel in particular very unpredictable, but it's also like a shoulder season when not as many people are coming, so it could be cheaper, there could be less people around. Some hiking up in the Alps can begin. We did Kiso Komagatake, which you can go check out in a video. That one still had a little bit of snow around the top areas, but it's really possible. We also did the Nakasendo Trail in June. And yeah, we got a really perfect day for that, luckily. And it's not too hot yet to do those kind of things. So, tier ranking?
3, 2, 1. A! Oh no!
Oh, interesting. A? Why A?
Well, it's still so beautiful. There's still so much green and vibrance around, but it's still not horrifically hot. And we did some of like our favorite activities. Those 2 videos that you mentioned before were done in June. Come on.
I'm really scared because I think from now on we're going to get like really different, widely different ratings.
Uh-oh.
Spoiler alert, Roy really loves summer in Japan.
It's my favorite.
Me not so much.
What do we do?
Oh, what do we do? Okay,
Come on, man. Please.
I'll give it to you. We'll put it in A.
Yes!
But I guess, please just know, I think other people will disagree.
Yeah, maybe like, big disclaimer, a little bit of like bias here.
Yeah, all right.
Let's turn up the heat for July. It's getting pretty spicy, honestly. So I'm not gonna say that you can't travel in the countryside of Japan during this time. You can. You just need to be aware and change the way that you travel to suit the climate. So you got to start thinking about getting up into the higher altitude places. You need to start thinking about how can we be close to like bodies of waters, like doing things like river walks and going and seeing like waterfalls and stuff like that. Because my God, it really helps by doing that. For all of the people hiring camper vans, you need a camper van with aircon that you can leave on overnight. You're gonna be cooking. Even if you stay in high altitudes overnight, during the day, the sun will just beat down on you and you can get quite miserable. So the recommendations for still enjoying the outdoors and the countryside, but also chasing aircon, is doing some things such as like sake breweries and maybe some kind of like history or like nature museums and stuff like that.
Yeah, really getting into those cooler indoor locations or going really high up into the mountains. So July is officially the start of the opening of a lot of hiking trails. Mount Fuji, for example, officially opens its hiking trails on July 1st. Also up in the Alps, really great hiking from here on out. So depends on what you're into, sightseeing or more intense adventure, but yeah. Oh, it's hot. I don't have anything else to say.
Hot's hot.
It's hot, it's hot.
It's hot, but it's not the worst.
I'm worried for the ranking. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, C.
B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go crazy and say A or S.
I'm not stupid. Look, personally, I don't think it deserves a C. Like, you can still, as I said, if you're near the water, you can do these wonderful activities on screen now. Like, it can be so much fun still. And the worst is to come. So.
Oh, interesting.
So.
Okay, I'm
maybe not
interested
B.
in your August tier. Okay, let's put B for now and we'll see what happens in August.
Okay.
And the heat just continues into August. Oh boy, it is so hot. One good thing about August though is you're starting to get so many summer festivals. There's dance festivals, there's firework festivals. It's a really wonderful traditional Japanese cultural thing to do, to see, eat at the market, food stalls. It's really great. Beyond that, what else to say? It's just so hot. You really, again, can't do camper vanning without aircon.
Even with it, it's getting,
Well, we've never done it with aircon, have we? So we're not quite sure, but it's really, really hot. Another thing that differentiates August from July is that Japanese school holidays have started.
yes.
So all of the families and everyone's out traveling. You have a week in the middle of August called Obon, which generally a lot of Japanese people get this off work and everyone's going back to their hometowns. Again, it's very busy, so you just want to be careful about that time, I guess.
Yeah.
Ranking.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, C. Why?
Okay.
Why would you give
I thought this
B?
was gonna happen because again, I went July C, August B, because August does have the summer festivals.
Yeah, but like, are you really gonna plan a trip, like die all day and then just enjoy the summer festivals at night? I don't know. I mean, look, I understand. I love a summer festival.
Yeah.
It's just like amazing, but
I guess there are some in July as well. Okay, C.
C?
C, I'll go with you.
just don't underestimate like how much domestic tourism from Japanese people on their holidays can just like make things insanely busy. September is another bit of a funky one. It's Amy's birthday month. That's cool.
Not why it's funky.
But it's funky because the weather is going to kind of ruin your plans. There is a peak of typhoons coming in right around this time, and it could just completely throw all the plans you've made out the window, and you might just have to sit inside, which is not a great way of enjoying the outdoors and countryside.
One thing to say is it's September and August when typhoons are peaking. So both of those months are difficult.
It's still going to be quite hot at the start of the month, but it is cooling down. We're getting close to like the camper van territory, but I'd still probably just advise caution.
For hiking, it's hard because it is got those typhoons coming in, but when there's not typhoons around, I really enjoy hiking in September. The days, the days feel a little bit more stable. When you're hiking in the Alps in the summertime, July and August, the days like don't stay nice for the whole day. You really need to start hiking really early in the morning. Otherwise, you've got to be careful about like storms and whatnot coming in. So September feels a bit stable, more stable for that. And also at the end of September, up in the Alps is when the autumn colors are just starting. There's a place called Karasawa Cirque in the Northern Alps, which I've always wanted to go to. It's like the autumn colors on the peaks and all these like colorful tents dotted around, and that's in the end of September. Anyways, I want to go there. That's a nice part of September.
Future dream. Subscribe. You'll see it one day.
Hopefully. So ranking then?
Ranking, yeah.
3, 2, 1, B.
C?
Ooh.
Look, I wrote B, but I literally had no justifying points. I don't know why.
I would still say B because it's nice if there's not typhoons.
You know what? It's kind of crazy. The typhoons can be a blessing because right after the typhoon, you're almost guaranteed A rating weather on the mountain hikes. So,
B?
B.
B for September. It goes up 1 ranking because of my birthday. I'm joking. Coming into October, when autumn really starts to kick off, spoiler alert, October is beautiful. Camper vanning has never been better.
Yes, camper van, start, go.
Yes, if you're going to hire one, now is the time. The weather is just so mild and temperate, perfect. Autumn foliage, am I right? The good
Amazing.
thing about autumn foliage is that it lasts a lot longer than cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
So this is why autumn is a favorite for me. And then also, the days are generally a lot clearer. Like you're going to be able to see the mountains a lot better, Mount Fuji views, for example. I just can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, October rocks. You can see why. Look how excited she is. Come on, guys.
Oh, last point is that it's also mild enough temperatures that like other outdoor activities like bike riding, for example, if you're going to do outdoor bouldering, climbing, these kind of things, it's really mild for that too. The last thing to say for October is that hiking at higher elevations is wrapping up for the season. The mountain huts will start closing around probably like middle October or even just a little bit earlier, and the peaks will be starting to get their first snow. But of course, lower down peaks are still fine. So, ranking. 3, 2, 1,
S.
Yeah. What more is there to say, really? We've got so many autumn videos. Go check them out. Oh, it's beautiful.
And we tell everyone to come in October, all our friends and family, like, this is the time. Like, it's amazing. So with November, you pretty much get all of the wonderful things that we just talked about before. Because it's getting colder, the kind of like places where you're going to find the amazing koyo or the like autumn colors is going to be a little bit different. You know, it's starting to end at the top of the mountains, and you've got to start getting it around towards cities and sea levels. Well, not cities.
Not cities, but yeah, sea level.
Sea level, right? Still in the countryside and all that stuff. It's also getting cold, so you're probably going to want to consider having the heater, like a camper van with a heater, because if you're in the mountains or even if you're down at like sea level, it might be a little bit uncomfortable at night, but in the evening you do get to have the most amazing bath of your life because onsen is back in full force during this cold time. I like November.
November's also a really good month.
Yeah.
So things like camping and camper vanning will be fine at the start of November, but you know, we're coming back to December now, so coming into the later parts of November, it's gonna be getting a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps.
Yeah.
Ranking. 3, 2, 1, S.
B. What? S.
I was so certain. The reason why November is S as well for me is that, as you said, it's actually the main month where down at sea level or those lower elevations when fall foliage is at its peak. So, you know, we can't forget those places as well.
True. Yeah, let's bump it up.
To S?
To S? I don't know about it. S. Maybe A.
Let's say A, okay.
A, let's do A.
Okay.
Okay.
A it is. So there are our rankings for the months. How do you feel? There was a little bit of back and forth there at the end, but we got there.
But generally we were like in the right place, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But if you've been to Japan, tell us, how was it? What, like the season, the month that you went in, was it good?
What did you do? What did you do more importantly? And would you have done it differently in a different time of the year?
Honestly though, anytime that you come to Japan, this is a little bit of a, cop out, but I do believe that if you adjust your plans accordingly to the weather and the season, you can have a good time. Because I understand that some people can only get certain times of the year off.
Yeah, definitely check out all the other videos that we put on screen and we've got in the description and all that. It should give you a really good indicator about how much fun you can have and all the wonderful things you can do in the outdoors and the countryside. But that is everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.